Hey guys, it's me, Miss America. I just want to let you guys know that for those who keep on asking me why don't I have another child, that one child is not a good thing, to be exact, that I should have 2 children or more. Let me run it up for you guys. Okay, so imagine, having a chronic illness, sickle cell anemia disease. Sickle cell anemia disease is a very chronic illness that causes a lot of pain in your body. Our cells are shaped like a crescent moon, right? So as they're trying to flow through our veins, they get stuck, so it causes them to be, clipped. So then it causes pain. It's, sharp, pointy cells, okay? If I'm, going through a sickle cell crisis, things like that, it's already hard enough, okay? I done already had my precious baby. She's back there. She's, want to ride a bike, whatever. So my thing is, if I have another child, do you guys know how much I'm putting my body at risk times 90 here? The first pregnancy I had with her was horrible, okay? Like, very horrible. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not over, exaggerating this or anything like that. But I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that living with sickle cell anemia disease, as hard as it is, let alone. Also, when I had her, and I was carrying her in my, stomach or whatever, she had collapsed my hip. My hip just shattered out of nowhere, okay? I knew something was wrong when I could not walk, okay? So when I noticed that I could not walk, I was having signs of, hip pain, like very strong hip pain. And prior to me finding out that my hip was collapsed, I was having sickle cell crises back to back with my child. So I went to the hospital that same exact day. I told them that something was wrong with my hip. They told me that I need to get myself together, understand that living with sickle cell anemia disease, it's going to be, a lot, considering the fact that I'm having a child. Pregnancy is pregnancy, so you're going to have a lot of signs, symptoms, pain, things like that. So they told me that I was, having a crisis, and that the baby would be, obviously sitting on my, hip. So I guess, according to them, that's what babies do. There's nothing wrong. I asked them to please do an MRI or at least a CAT scan of my hip just to make sure it's okay, because at this point, guys, I can tell you I could not walk, okay? Like, say if I went to try to take a step, right? It would feel like the other leg that was the problem, which was the right hip, okay? It would not move. Like, it was like discontinued. Like, it was done. Like, goodbye. So anyways, they told me that there's no reason to take, hip x-ray, things like that. The baby lays on the hip, all that, gooky stuff. To go home, everything's fine, try to understand that this is pregnancy, things are changed within your body, things like that. So I could not endure the pain, okay? Like, it was so bad. So I took it upon myself to get an Uber to another hospital. So the other hospital had told me that, okay, we'll go ahead and do an x-ray, a CT of your hip, whatever you need, We know that you don't come in unless there's something wrong, okay? So when they went ahead, they did their, tests, things like that. They came back in my room to say, hi, we do have a serious, discussion we need to talk to you about. Are you ready? And I said, yeah, I'm ready, Are you ready for the good or are you ready for the bad? Where do you want us to start with? I said, start off with the bad and let's end it good, So as we're sitting, they're talking, things like that, they come to tell me that, baby, my hip was collapsed. it was shattered in the exam. It was into pieces to where it wouldn't even reach the daggone ground for real. That's the reason I couldn't walk, okay? So the other hospital, long story short, the other hospital wanted to amputate my leg. The same people that said that I was having, just pregnancy symptoms, everything's going to be okay, go home, relax, go to bed, things like that. So I'm looking at the doctor like, oh my gosh, this collapse is that bad? Yes, it's that bad. So the doctor said, I've called a surgeon. So that's a good thing, that's where we ended off the good news with. I called a surgeon. I immediately reached out to him. I let him know that you're in danger right now. The only thing about it is that I'm pregnant, things like that. So, some doctors don't want to operate on pregnant patients. You know what I mean? So check dig, right? So long story short, guys, I'm trying to make it, short, but it's a little bit long, but anyways, so at this point I'm at the hospital with a walker. Okay, so I had a walker, and I was just using it to try to guide me through or whatever. So the surgeon said that he doesn't want to operate on me because I have severe sickle cell anemia disease, SS. I've had blood clots in my lungs, things like that. They don't want to take a risk on any patients like that for real. Like, some of these doctors are scared, okay? That's how serious this illness is, okay? So, you guys, what happened next was I had my baby. Later on, at that time, guys, I was looking up numbers, finding my own surgeon, trying to find, so I find a surgeon, right? So when I go look at this surgeon, he looks at my hip, he immediately does an x-ray, and I really appreciate him so much. He immediately checked me, things like that. He comes back, he tells me, hey, your hip is collapsed. We need to get you into surgery, and I mean as fast as we can, okay? I'm gonna have to press all my patients back because you have a child that you have to take care of, and your leg is about 3.5 inches shorter than the other leg, just to let you know. So I'm like, oh gosh, so every day I would wake up, my leg is shorter. So that's the reason why the other hospital said that they don't have any hope for me. The only thing they can do is amputate my leg. So I went through so much traumatic stress at this time, guys. It was so scary. Going through depression. At this time I had a baby. I had to put her, on top of, the walker and kind of push her, things like that. So the leg got shorter and shorter. It couldn't touch the ground no more. Anyways, I end up getting the, hip replaced, guys. And it had to be replaced a different type of way that they do not do unless it's a serious emergency and it's at the last resort. So the doctor went ahead and he put a rod from my buttocks and pushed the rod all the way down to try to extend my leg, because that's how short it was. Because if he had went, and did it in the front of the hip and placed the rod there, it would not be equal. So the best thing he had done was the best thing he has done, because nobody could really see it, but like, it's just this little bit off, but that's better than what it was, prior to all this, So anyways, it was a horrible pregnancy. So you guys, like, I do not want any more kids. I did ask them to tie my tubes. It was a little debate there, but then they had to understand that, this is serious. We've never seen a patient like this in our life have, a collapsed hip during pregnancy. So it is considered a, major deal. So I was able to get my tubes tied. Let me tell you guys, I don't trust that either. Another thing is, it was hard delivering my child. They were going to let me deliver my child by, vaginal birth. I talked to the mayor and the staff who were, in charge of everything, and we had came up with a plan. So they went ahead and said that it's, an emergency to just go ahead and do a C-section. So yeah, you guys, it's a lot to this story. So let me know if you guys want more information. So yeah, just don't have kids, please, because you just never know what can happen and how your body